With the new COVID variant, oh gosh, it's called, hold on, XBB.1.5, it is really more important than ever to, I think, be very critical and again, independent minded about what you're reading in the news when it comes to COVID-19. So there was this op ed in the Washington Post, and the headline of it to me is just so stupid. So it says, opinion, the coronavirus is speaking. It says it's not done with us. I mean, inanimate objects don't speak, but we'll get past that. So it's written by a guy named Eric Topol. He's a professor of molecular medicine at Scripps Research. The opening paragraph reads, there is no sugarcoating it. The world has let its guard down on COVID-19, and the virus's latest dominant form, XBB.1.5, makes clear that we're doing so just as the virus finds new ways to hurt us. Here's my problem with this. Again, I'll go back to the headline. The coronavirus is speaking. It's saying it's not done with us. The coronavirus, COVID-19, is never going to be done with us. This is what I know I've been preaching, and many others who were vilified over their response to COVID-19 have been preaching. We have to learn to live with it. And this was true 6 months into COVID. It was a nationwide or a worldwide pandemic, and you weren't going to be able to snuff it out at that point. I mean, even frankly, a month into COVID, people who do this kind of stuff for a living should have known you're not going to be able to snuff it out. And certainly we should have known that when the vaccines weren't effective in stopping the spread of the virus. And then you've got vaccines and the virus is sort of finding new ways again to infect people, and the strains and the variants are changing. So the whole concept of this article is absurd. The coronavirus is speaking. It's saying it's not done with us. It's never going to be done with us. What other disease do we cover in this way? This relentless, every strain is a new threat. It's going to linger. It's like we don't do that with any other, the flu, for instance. XBB.1.5. I think the healthiest thing that we can do is realize that COVID-19 and the virus is doing what viruses do. It is constantly changing and adapting, evolving. It's, now it's spreading more quickly. It is infecting people regardless of vaccination status. And what this professor of molecular medicine recommends is, he says, that should serve as a wake-up call for the country to reinvest in new vaccines, treatments, and pandemic monitoring. Of course you should be investing in new vaccines and treatments. You would do that. We do that with every disease on the planet. You're continuously studying them. You're trying to come up with hopefully more effective vaccines. Hopefully they're already doing that. And more effective treatments for it. The fear-mongering is just weird to me. We all, and again, this is a guy who's an academic, a professor of molecular medicine at Scripps Research. We don't need you to tell us that the coronavirus is not done with us. This is the natural flow of things. And so this constant fear-mongering, and then why I say you have to read and consume a variety of different outlets when it comes to this. So I meant to share this a couple weeks ago, and then, things got crazy. Greta Van Susteren shared this, some Google results that popped up, and she pointed out two that were right next to each other. The first article is from Fox Business, and the headline is, Doctor warns tridemic could get worse if masks are mandated again. And then right below that is a New York Times article that says, amid a triple-demic, it's time to mask up again, experts say. So this is living in two completely different worlds. So on one, you've got a Fox News medical contributor who's saying, hey, this tridemic, as they're calling it, could get worse if people have to wear masks again. And then you've got the New York Times saying they call it a triple-demic. I tend to like tridemic. Triple-demic is a tongue twister for me. Saying that experts are saying it's time to mask up again. So if you're only reading one of those, that's the universe that you're living in. And again, like normal, the truth is probably in the middle of there somewhere. You gauge your risk, you gauge your environment and your surroundings and your age and your health, and you decide, do I feel like I need to mask up? And then you make a decision. It's simple. But more than ever, and on this COVID thing, critical thinking is absolutely necessary so you don't drive yourself bonkers. I mean, if you consume one publication or one outlet and get all your information from them, no wonder America's so divided. You're sitting there thinking, oh, well, experts say I've got to mask up to protect myself from the tridemic. And then you got Joe across the street who's watching a different news source, and he's like, oh, if I wear a mask, then it's going to get worse. The tridemic's going to get worse. It is the media's fault. I mean, I don't know what other way to spin it. The media's fault for not only freaking us out so much about COVID-19 and XYZB123 variants, but also about dividing us so much. The media ecosystem is it's almost as if it was built to divide Americans. So do your own critical thinking. Get your information from a variety of sources. And I say that as someone who is a source of news and information. You shouldn't just be listening to this podcast. I assume you're also listening to other things as well, because the truth is out there, but it is harder than ever to find.